Water woes continue.
Never have I seen anything like this. Never.
As Broward cancels another day of classes. The state's 6-week abortion law awaiting only the governor's pen. Protests over policies.
That it affects all of us, it affects every professor, every student, and it affects me personally.
Affecting Florida's public universities. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Leana Botarbush.
I'm Hawa Ezel. Today is Friday, April 14th, 2023.
Live from the FIU Lee Kaplan School of Journalism and Media, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
Flooding frustration in parts of Broward County, days of rain, and nowhere for all the water to go. Officials are describing it as once in every 1,000 years kind of event.
As the network's Alexa Velos reports, schools are once again closed in Broward and the airports just reopened minutes ago.
Flood warnings in effect in Broward County until 8 a.m. today. South Florida's historic flooding Wednesday left cars stranded and some people unable to get to work.
So I've been watching the cars thinking I could make it, but I've had the car stall in water before, and so I'm just like, I'll just hang out. I've only lived in Florida for a couple years, so this is completely shocking to me.
Never have I seen anything like this. Never. I've been working in Fort Lauderdale for over 23 years, and I've never seen anything like this.
We ran hundreds of water rescues in Broward County. We did have some people that were trapped in their homes, water that was rising, people that were in need of medical rescue in homes where there was flooding. And, you know, those are the people that we're really concerned about.
All right, I'm going to go back and get your mommy and daddy, all right, bud?
Flooding also a major concern in Miami-Dade County. At FIU's Biscayne Bay campus, this lot is completely submerged, so crews have set up some water drain pumps to clear the area.
The National Weather Service says Miami-Dade County had 13.5 inches of rain and more than 25 inches in just 24 hours in Broward County, making it the rainiest day in Fort Lauderdale history. Residents waking up this morning to the damages after spending the night trapped in their homes.
It's really hard to leave all your stuff, bro. You know, my whole life's possessions is in that house. It's all underwater.
At Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport, a total ground stop Wednesday, then closure. Stranded travelers trying to figure out their next moves after runways turned into lakes, cars and airplanes immobile. The airport reopened at 9 a.m. today after being closed since Wednesday. Broward County Public Schools also to remain closed. The National Weather Service is calling the floods a 1 in 1,000 year event or greater. Reporting for the South Florida Media Network, I'm Alexa Velos.
Speaking of rain, hurricane season is fast approaching, and this morning a new outlook has been released. Colorado State University just released its 2023 Atlantic hurricane season forecast. The forecast predicts 13 named storms, 6 hurricanes, and 2 major hurricanes of Category 3 or higher. These numbers are all slightly below the typical season average. The odds of a U.S. landfall appears to be as high as any normal year, so it's essential to stay vigilant and prepared.
Protests across the state of a new bill for public universities. One of those protests was at Florida International University. The network's Kelly Sanchez has more on the story.
We're here at one of many protests ensuing across Florida, where students and faculty are taking a stand against Governor Ron DeSantis and House Bill 999, which targets diversity, equity, and inclusion programs.
Need to fight back against that. It affects all of us, it affects every professor, every student, and it affects me personally because as a philosophy student, the ability to think critically about the world around me is primary.
Since February 21st, HB 999 has been filed in the House of Representatives and its status is still undecided. A staff analysis states that DEI initiatives may have negative impacts that directly undermine the reported goals of the programs. With this, Florida legislators intend to have the bill ban funds from going to such programs at public colleges and universities. These cuts would heavily impact the student body as well as faculty.
I have 2 colleagues who have taken positions at other universities this month, and they're leaving, and they are excellent colleagues. We have run a job search recently where we had very few applicants. Who wants to come to Florida where the state tries to tell you what you can and cannot teach? Nobody is the answer.
Fueled Fueled by anger, fear, and passion, the university community is using their voices and taking action against HB 999 in hopes to protect the rights, jobs, and identities of many individuals.
We think that's an encroachment on people's freedom, on their academic freedom, on their rights as workers, and we're here to stand against it.
It is the most important thing besides voting. If you can't vote, protest. If you can't protest, vote. If you can do both, do both.
HB 999 is pending in the Education and Employment Committee, awaiting further discussion. The call for action continues throughout Florida. Reporting for the South Florida Media Network, I'm Kelly Sanchez.
A different movement is taking shape as Governor Ron DeSantis also cracks down on immigration. His proposal to remove in-state tuition waiver for Dreamers has motivated Dreamer students to share their success stories. One of these students, Guadalupe Alegre, spoke to us about how the waiver allowed her to pick up a pen instead of a shovel.
Yo no tengo nada que darles a ustedes cuando yo me muera. Lo único que yo tengo para darles es una educación. Mi nombre es Guadalupe Alegre y yo emigré a este país cuando tenía 15 años. Soy la mayor de 5. Cuando llegué a este país tuve que trabajar en los campos, en las nurserías, en el sol, para poder ayudar a mi papá a criar a mis 4 hermanos. Y fue muy difícil para mí porque hubo muchas humillaciones en ese trabajo. La persona que era mi supervisora en ese entonces acababa de entrar a ese trabajo. Un día llegué a decirle que las plantas tenían bichitos y la contestación de ella fue: ¿y tú quién eres? ¿Dónde estudiaste para decirme a mí cómo yo voy a hacer mi trabajo? Para mí, en lo personal, me hirió mi orgullo, como quien dice, y dije, no, esto no me va a volver a pasar jamás, nunca.
How I started in this work is because I was affected by the issue. My older sister wanted to go to college, and they told her that unfortunately, because she didn't have the right kind of papers, she couldn't actually start school. And that made me feel really scared, but also determined to find a way. And I'm happy to say that in 2014, we were able to actually pass a waiver for people to get in-state tuition.
Por complicaciones de embarazo fue que pude hacer un GED. Me topé con un flyer de Dream.us y le dije a mi esposo, voy a aplicar. Y su respuesta a él, ¿y tú crees que te lo vayan a dar? Dice, tú no has ido a la escuela aquí. ¿Tú crees que te lo den? Y yo así como que, no me importa. Me gradué con un double major en Accounting and Business Analytics aquí en FIU en diciembre del 2019. Entonces ahora que me estoy enterando de que in-state tuition lo quieren quitar, yo así como que, ¿qué vamos a hacer? Tenemos que hacer algo, porque no es justo.
Watch the rest of Guadalupe's story to find out what Florida Dreamers are doing to stop the repeal of in-state tuition on our website, sfmn.fiu.edu.
After a long debate, Governor Ron DeSantis signed one of the nation's toughest six-week abortion bans into law. The bill was passed on Thursday with 7 GOP representatives voting no and 9 representatives did not vote. During the debate, several Democrats left the House floor to join protesters in the rotunda. Republicans say this is a win for protecting human life.
A new buoy has been placed in the bay to keep track of conditions. The network's Paloma Pimentel was along for the ride.
FIU's Center for Aquatic Chemistry and Environment has launched another buoy in the Biscayne Bay, a device that will monitor the water quality and prevent future contamination of the bay. On March 31st, Crest Cache sailed off from the FIU Biscayne Bay campus dock and launched their 5th buoy into the ocean just south of North Bay Village. That is a critical area that has been raising alarms for conditions throughout the bay. This solar-run device, named Crest Buoy Number 4, monitors water quality with parameters that measure levels including pH, temperature, chlorophyll, and dissolved oxygen to then transmute the data collected through cellular uplink every 15 minutes into the Crest website for the public to view. This project began after the 2020 devastating fish kill in the Biscayne Bay and is part of Crest's mission to address the environmental contamination issues of South Florida.
We've kind of put together a system that works for what we're interested in to monitor the water quality as well as the flow rates on each of these buoys. It's an expensive process, so it's something that we need our local municipalities to be behind as well, because not everybody can afford to do that. So it's going to take a lot of effort, but we really don't have a choice because, if we don't take care of the bay, we're going to be in trouble.
I am Paloma Pimentel from the South Florida Media Network signing off.
New protection from concussions is on the way for NFL quarterbacks.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
Here come the Panthers looking for their first of the night, and Barkov gets it!
The Panthers already made the playoffs, but this morning we know their first round opponent will be. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes.
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Go get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by PantherTech in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
The Panthers settled their playoff position. A win last night would have made them the 7th seed. A loss and they're number 8. The Panthers going for a win last night to avoid a playoff series with the record-breaking Boston Bruins.
Despite scoring 4 goals, the Panthers couldn't keep pace with the Carolina Hurricanes at the FLA Live Arena last night. Final score, 6-4. The Panthers are now the 8th seed in the NHL playoffs and will play Boston Game 1 Monday night.
For the first time, the NFL and its Players Association announced a new quarterback-specific helmet that will be available in the upcoming 2023 season. The league hopes that the new helmet will reduce the severity of the head-to-ground impacts, which they say accounts for nearly half of all quarterback concussions. This comes after the 2022 season, where the number of diagnosed concussions rose 18% across the league, mostly due to quarterback concussions. You're watching SFMN Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level.
Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Hawa Ezel.
I'm Lan Abutorbush. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.